you didn't already know, Shane Dawson, once the king of YouTube, has decided to run off into the sunset out of LA with his fiancée, Ryland Adams. And they're going to move on to a farm together and never do YouTube again. And now Shane's alleged ex-bestie, Garrett Watts, has taken his place, or at least is trying to, with his very similar content that we're going to be investigating today. So yeah, everyone thought Shane would be coming back to YouTube with a Britney Spears documentary, but that's not the case at all. Everyone else who's been in major scandals has made a comeback to YouTube, including Tati, James Chihuahua, Jeffree Star. Literally everyone has come back to YouTube and has continued on except for Shane Dawson. Shane has decided that he's going to move out of LA and be a farmer, which is like the complete opposite of putting yourself out there and being a YouTuber. Farmers, for the most part, don't have scandals, they're not problematic, but the only thing people should be worrying about is if there's going to be cats on the farm. So yeah, it's a massive career change, and I don't even know if they're going to be like selling eggs and meat or whatnot, or if they're just going to be a self-sustainable farm. Who knows? Maybe Shane took some advice from Jeffree, because Jeffree now spends most of his time out in Wyoming on his farm, riding the poor fucking yats. Lord save those yats. So without a doubt, Shane has taken some life advice from bestie Jeffree Star, who's probably said, hey look, my mental state has been a lot better since getting out of LA and hanging out with the yats, because at the end of the day, Shane, nature won't judge you, but people will. So Ryland recently posted this vlog to his YouTube channel and Shane appeared in it. They discussed that they were looking at a farmhouse in Colorado and were going to move. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ryland's family are from Colorado, so it wouldn't be that bad of a move as they've got a lot of family and support out there. Morgan also bought a house in Colorado recently to be near family, so it makes sense for their move. Now, could this be the end of Shane's channel? Is he going to be a full-time farmer? Well, a lot of people don't think so, because he has been appearing comfortably in Ryland's videos every now and then, and I'm guessing the fans are getting used to it. So it's kind of like slow turtle steps back into the YouTube game. Shane's relationship with a lot of his old YouTube friends have turned sour. Trisha has turned on both him and Ryland because of their association with Jeffree and them not defending her when Jeffree was bullying her. Shane also hasn't really been seen hanging out with his other YouTube friends that he used to be seen with a lot, Garrett and Drew. Maybe they've avoided him to stay out of drama, or maybe it was a mutual understanding. There hasn't been much talk about their relationship or if they've parted ways for good, but there were some intense rumours back late last year. Basically, some photos re-emerged of Garrett Watts' Instagram feed showing him with his ex-bestie Shane, and the captions were changed, featuring some nasty comments about Shane. While Garrett and Shane have had beef in the past, this was apparently fake. Someone had apparently hacked Garrett's Instagram. Here we can see a vomit emoji when Garrett and Shane were sharing an ice cream. Another post had said, throwback to like 16 hours ago when I was goofing at an arcade with this actual piece of garbage. Universal Studios from open to close. I consume my weight in butterbeer, and I'm just butterbeer now. Please ignore the Krusty Clown and the Simpsons character in the middle. And then here was a photo of him with Jeffree and Nate, who, as we all know, Jeffree is still besties with Shane, and the caption read, yikes. Garrett had finally put the rumours to rest after this started trending on Twitter. He'd taken to his Instagram story and had said, attention, if you've received a weird message from me or see anything else weird via my Instagram in the past 9 hours or so, please disregard. Just woke up to some wild activity / notifications and had to change my password because as I slept my account was accessed and they were trolling, projecting weird personal stuff / opinions onto my account, archiving old pics, commenting, tagging, changing captions, sending messages. Someone trying to stir the pot, and it was very strange and bad. And now I have my account on lock, trying to catch / correct / reset any changes now, and pardon the WTF inducing moments if y'all experienced anything weird. Anyways, all is well, love y'all and have an awesome Sunday. Although Garrett defended Shane back in 2019 after the podcast where Shane talked about the horrifying things he'd done to his cat resurfaced, Garrett has stayed relatively quiet surrounding Shane getting cancelled. To date, the last time he spoke about Shane it was last year when he commented on Internet Impact's video titled, What Happened to Garrett Watts After Shane Dawson? The video discussed how successful content creators feature their friends, and then those friends eventually gather a large following of their own, and how a lot of those new fans have been fans of the successful creator first. In this circumstance, Shane was the successful YouTuber, and Garrett gained a lot of his following from Shane. Internet Impact stated how Garrett's content is actually good though, and that's why fans of Shane stick around. The real question was, once Garrett separated from Shane, Shane, would he keep or lose his following, aka Shane's old fans? Garrett had commented on this video at the time, not really mentioning Shane, but more so discussing the video as a whole, and the reaction was very positive, as people don't believe Garrett should be tarred with the same brush as Shane. It feels a little odd to not comment on this video, considering that I am, you know, me. But I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate the general sentiment and the emotionally intelligent theme of this video. So many people, including my own mother, just yesterday, brought your wonderful video up to me, and I understand why. For what it's worth, I find you to be a remarkable, rare, and absolutely incredible content maker yourself. As for the halo effect you mention, my thought on many points brought up in the video are complex, as they should be, but no doubt it is real. Having said that, my creative autonomy has always been very important to me. I do deeply recognise the reality of said halo effect, but I also humbly recognise my ability to gleefully transcend it. I am so deeply grateful to those who appreciate me and have watched my videos thus far, and also to those who have been deeply patient with my absurdly infrequent upload schedule. But as far as I am concerned, I have not yet even begun. Thank you for congrats to my TED Talk, lol. And thank you again so much for this thoughtful video, and please do consider me a fan of your work. It's important to note that Garrett is still making highly successful content, which is similar to Shane's old content. So has he taken Shane's place? Well, not quite. He's still relatively small in comparison, but former fans of Shane still love Garrett's content because it has elements of Shane's old videos, and they are very similar. When Shane got cancelled last year, there were quite a lot of people who came for Shane's old friends, Drew and Garrett, but there were also a lot of people supporting Garrett and Drew, saying things like they shouldn't have to pay for Shane's F-ups. Shane was the one who made jokes with minors. He's the one who made the racist videos. Garrett and Drew never did that, but of course they were tarred with the same brush for hanging out with him and being close to him. Ryland and Morgan, on the other hand, were heavily defending Shane, which ultimately resulted in them getting a lot more backlash. Then again, we mustn't forget Drew and Garrett have 100% used a very weird kind of humour in the past, similar to Shane's. It's not hard to imagine that at that point in time, they were watching and approving of this content Shane was making. However, Drew and Garrett did not as minors as a joke like Shane did. In Garrett Watt's recent video, Overnight in a Haunted Hospital, Do You Watch at Night, people started saying that he was turning into Shane Dawson. The editing, the style of filming, the personality, the type of content, it's all been seen before. Obviously it was a very well made video generating over 2 million views, and it had a lot of positive feedback. However, lots of people said that they felt like they were watching one of Shane Dawson's videos. This is because of the jokes that Garrett was making, how he kept saying oh my god, and the fact that Andrew was also Shane's cameraman. Andrew and Garrett definitely have a similar dynamic that Shane and Andrew used to have. However, Garrett is obviously a lot more loved than Shane at this point. People are pointing out that Shane was the one who actually adopted Garrett's personality, and Andrew and Garrett were also friends before Shane. Andrew edited both Shane and Garrett's videos, so of course they would be similar. Shane turned into Garrett, but since he had a larger platform, of course people are going to think the opposite, that it's Garrett copying Shane. Saucy, saucy. Garrett has also always been into spooky stuff well before Shane came into his life. It's almost as if Shane adopted Garrett's personality for profit, yet ridiculed him at the same time. Garrett also seems a lot happier nowadays since parting ways with Shane, because I guess he no longer has Shane making fun or picking on him. But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comments.